Alright, what's going on, guys? This is going to be a bit of a different video considering how the last one ended. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going, I'm going to be editing out all the skipped dialogue. My microphone is being very powerful right now for some reason. I don't know why. That's better. So I'm going to be going and editing out the skipped dialogue and just going to the dialogue that is more relevant, getting the story to the good ending. So you're going to be seeing like different dialogue, but from familiar scenarios. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, this is the books thing. Okay, I think this is a good start for me. I'm gonna let her handle the books this time. Alright, but feel free to ask for help if you get tired later. Yuri smiles gratefully up at me.
Oh, okay. I definitely appreciate your efforts of help, though. But thank you for taking me at my word. This is the type of thing that I'd like to get better at handling myself. As a sort of practice in self-sufficiency, if you will.
Guess she was serious when she said she wanted to do it herself.
Phew.
Good thing I didn't take the books off her hands after all. Maybe I should call you next time my teacher asks me to deliver stuff to another classroom.
I wouldn't go that far.
Anyway, I get it. And at any rate, I'm not the type of guy who automatically assumes that girls need help carrying stuff.
I'll have to admit, it does make me feel like a bit of a burden when people assume I need help. But not to say that I never need help, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. We set off down the hall, and soon enough, we're just about in front of the student council room. I'll wait for you outside, alright?
That's what I mean. It shouldn't take very long anyway.
As she turns into the room, her ankle happens to twist beneath her. Almost as if in slow motion, Yuri tumbles to the ground. Her stack of textbooks flying across the floor to sprawl around her. A redness blossoms in her cheeks that's only hastened by the giggle and staring of bystanders passing by. She springs to her feet, avoiding my eyes by staring down to straightening her skirt. Here, let me help you with the books.
Thank you.
We quickly gather up the books in silence. Looks like there wasn't any visible damage dealt to the books. That's a relief.
Yes.
With the books back in Yuri's arms, we awkwardly stand together without saying anything for a few moments.
I'm going to deliver the books now.
She quickly shuffles into the room, re-emerging a minute later. Wanna get going now? Yuri nods in affirmation, opening her mouth to speak. However, she's interrupted by giggling from a couple of girls standing nearby. They were there when Yuri tripped. They'll tell me they're laughing at her. Judging by Yuri's expression, it looks like that's the conclusion she's drawn. She buries her face in her hands, and I can only imagine how red her face is.
I can't believe
Hey, Yuri. It's okay, really. No one's gonna care or remember what happened in a few minutes. Well, those giggling girls aren't helping my argument, but what else am I supposed to say? Come on, let's just leave them and get over to the club. You can distract yourself with books there. With a sigh, Yuri drops her hands from her face.
I suppose.
Let's go. We don't want to be any more late than we already are. A few moments later, we arrive in front of the club room. Are you alright? How's your ankle? Her eyes flick to catch my gaze for a second before shooting back down again.
I'm fine. This is so embarrassing.
She starts to cover her face again. It's fine, Yuri. You did nothing wrong. Well, of course there's nothing wrong with tripping. Crap, I feel like I'm not helping matters.
I know, I just feel badly. Honestly speaking, the embarrassment is worse than any physical pain I might have felt.
She fidgets with her hands for a moment. Yeah, I should have said something to those girls. Can't believe how rude they were.
No. I was already happy that you helped me pick everything up, Flam. Furthermore, it's not as though you're beholden to me or anything. And those girls probably weren't even laughing at me. You were right before. I likely only felt that way because of the spotlight effect.
Well, I guess I'm not very confrontational anyway. As you can see, I'm not the toughest guy around. Yuri covers her mouth, hiding a smile that brings me warmth. You know, Natsuki's probably the toughest person in the club. I mean, she'd probably beat me up without a sweat in a fist fight. And then at the end, she says something like, "It's not like I wanted to beat you up or anything. You just asked for it when you said manga isn't literature." Yuri giggles behind her hand.
That doesn't even make sense. Natsuki only ever protests when she's showing affection, not when she's beating people up.
Guess I should work on my Natsuki impression then. It's peaceful in the club room. Tranquil. A welcome break after what just transpired. This until a barrage of chatter descends upon us from certain curl-haired girl.
Flam? You wouldn't believe what happened to me. So I was minding my own business in the hallway, just walking to one of my classes when...
Sayori suddenly spots Yuri behind me.
Oh, hi Yuri. Did you walk here with Flam? Yes I did.
I happened to tag along with Yuri when she was running some errands, so...
Yes, that's right. Wow, what a coincidence. Hold on, what time is it?
I don't know, why? Do you need to be somewhere?
No, but we don't want to miss any club activities, right?
I mean, it's not like we usually do anything besides share poetry for half an hour.
Flam, I won't have you disparaging the club like that. He's not wrong, you know. Oh my, is Natsuki actually defending Flam? What a surprise.
Natsuki sputters in shock.
What? Only teasing. Natsuki, you're way too easy to tease. Says the girl with the bottomless stomach. What's that sound you always make? Ooh, Hey! Monica, help me! Natsuki's being a meanie. So you can dish it out, but you can't take it, huh? Monica!
Sayori turns to Yuri, seemingly as a last-ditch effort to gain support.
Yuri, you're on my side, right? You're all rather animated today, aren't you? Is that a yes then?
Looks like Yuri's going to be a neutral party here, Sayori.
No!
I smiled to myself. It's good to be back. Alright, so right here, remember, is when we didn't say hi to Natsuki. So let's go say hi this time. Let's see, what was it?
Besides, don't you need to get your dumplings in the freezer?
I mean, I guess, but... Well, worst case scenario, we just say hi and keep walking, right? If you want to be better friends with her, you'll need to talk to her sometime. You even started writing poetry using rhyme schemes and things like that so you could relate to her more, right? Your problems won't go away just by you hoping they will. After years of playing games to try and fill the void of loneliness, one thing's for sure. Problems like loneliness don't always simply disappear. If Sayori didn't come along, I might really have become a neat.
Well, I just don't know.
Look at it this way. You remember how you talked about the people in books being kind of like friends?
Yes, I recall that.
If all those characters never went after what they wanted, would they be any better off? Even if we mess up some, at least we tried. She stands there contemplating everything I said.
I do understand that you have a point, but it's difficult for me to do. It may come naturally to you, starting conversations with acquaintances and strangers. But it's just hard for me to do.
She looks away, playing with her hair. Well, you at least started a conversation with me when I first joined the club, right?
That was because I had I had to, though.
What about the book you gifted me? You initiated that yourself, right?
It was my duty as a club member to make you feel more welcomed, but that doesn't mean I didn't rehearse the conversation over and over in my mind before I spoke to you. And admittedly, I did want someone to share my books with.
So if you talk to Natsuki more, won't you be able to share your interests with her too? You might even be able to get her into your literature more, and who knows, she might have some manga in the genre more suited to your tastes. Yuri visibly inhales and breathes a deep sigh out.
If I don't do anything, then the current situation won't improve.
She's shaking slightly. How about I stick with you for a while? How about if I stick with you while you talk to her? That way, even if things don't go well, we can still walk away and you won't have to be alone. She takes another deep breath. I can visibly see her trying to compose herself.
That would be nice. Can you give me a moment first, though? I need to gather up my courage.
Of course.
Thank you.
She turns to face me and gives a slight bow.
You've been a great help these past few days.
Now it's my turn to be embarrassed. It's alright. Besides, that's what friends are for.
Friends? Friends.
Her eyes both sparkle and dim when I say that.
Alright.
After a brief pause, Yuri nods to me. Her face looks a bit gray with nerves, but her resolve seems solid at least. We make our way towards Natsuki, who fortunately hasn't gotten far yet.
Hello, Natsuki.
The greeting comes out a little loud, making Yuri grimace a bit. I try to shoot her a comforting smile, although I'm not sure if she actually saw it.
Oh, hey, Yuri and Flam. Didn't expect to see you here. How are you doing? I'm doing alright, I guess.
She glances over at the shopping bags I'm carrying.
You went shopping together?
Yep.
Yes, we happened to need to go to the store at the same time. You just happened to, huh?
I roll my eyes, causing Natsuki to smirk.
That's right?
Maybe it's actually Natsuki teasing and sense of humor paired with Yuri's inability to deal with teasing that makes them incompatible. All of a sudden, a gurgle fills the air. Judging by the way Natsuki stiffens up, it must have been her stomach. Yuri fidgets for a moment as Natsuki looks away from us. It seems like Yuri's really struggling to get her words out. An idea suddenly pops into my head, and I can't help but lean in to whisper to Yuri about it. Why don't you invite Natsuki over to your place for dinner? Yuri's face blanches slightly. Is she really that nervous about it? I must have underestimated her social anxiety.
Hey, care to share? Care to share with the rest of the class?
At this point, Natsuki's beet red.
Natsuki, would you like to eat out with me tonight?
Yuri's voice sounds a little strangled as she speaks. It's a bit strange that she wants to eat out tonight, though, considering how much she likes home cooking.
Are you sure? Well, if you'd like, I haven't eaten out in a while, so... I do have to put away my groceries first, though. But we can go after that?
Natsuki's expression softens more than I expected.
I don't know. I don't want to impose. I should probably be getting home soon anyway. Are you sure? It's really not a bother. If it doesn't take too long, then I guess I could. We might have to get takeout, though.
Hey, I'm gonna head back home and put my stuff away. I'll see you all at the club. Before Yuri turns to go, I give her a thumbs up and a smile that she returns with a blush. Exchanging goodbyes, we head our separate ways. Okay.
Alright, come on, let's pay. Let's pay and get a move on then.
Bags in hand, we step back out into the mall. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I really think Yuri will enjoy the gift.
Hey, Flam. Not like it's a big deal or anything, but...
She looks down at the floor, fiddling with her coat. I wait patiently.
Thanks for helping me get along with Yuri back in October.
What do you mean?
You don't remember?
About one in particular.
It was when you asked Yuri to invite me to dinner with her, dummy.
Oh, that.
Yeah, it helped you put things into perspective, you know? And, well, you could probably see it, but we're getting along a bit better now.
I'm glad to hear that, Natsuki. I know Yuri probably appreciates it a lot. Well, as do all of us.
Don't get me wrong, she still kind of acts like she's on her high horse, and it's a bit hard to understand her sometimes. Like our Christmas gift argument. But these past few months have helped me realize that she's still my friend, and I don't know if we'd be as close if you didn't say or do anything.
Wait, hang on. How'd you know that I suggested to Yuri that she should invite you to dinner? Natsuki stares at me for a moment. Incredulity
It was pretty obvious. I mean, you literally went ahead and whispered into her ear right before she asked me.
I feel my cheeks redden. Was I really that obvious? Oops. Oh, I see. There's an awkward pause. I'm glad things are working out between you two.
Yeah. Oh crap, it's getting late. I really need to get going. Dad is going to go crazy.
Fair enough. I should probably get a move on as well. See you later.
Yeah, see ya.
With a small wave, she heads off. I also take my leave. Today went better than I thought it would, so I'm in high spirits. Okay. Right here, I'm going to encourage her to call. Hey, I know it might be a little daunting. Heck, I don't think anyone enjoys talking over the phone to a stranger. But I know you can do this.
Really? I must look so stupid.
You don't. Talking to people is hard for you, so maybe I shouldn't have suggested it.
No, I think you're right. I can do this.
I give her an encouraging smile. Of course you can. She taps the number on her phone. You've got this.
Hello? I'd like to put a slot at the Skytree Tower for 2, please.
She looks over at me and I smile and nod in affirmation. The rest of the phone call carries on very uneventfully. Aside from the odd stutter, it was pretty much flawless on Yuri's part. See? That wasn't so bad, was it?
I'm not sure. I did stutter a lot.
Nah, it was barely noticeable. Everything sorted?
Yes. We'll give them the money when we arrive.
Sounds good. I know that wasn't easy for you, Yuri, so I want you to know that I'm proud of you, okay?
Thank you. I'm glad that I did it as well.
Okay, let's see here. Actually, we could even ask her to have lunch with us.
Okay. It would be nice to talk to her some more. I can't recall the last time that Suki and I had lunch together.
Nice. Let's check to see if she's in then. Sliding the classroom door open, I step inside with Yuri, following closely. Inside the classroom, we're met with a few curious glances from students. That's not surprised though, given that not many people know all their upperclassmen. Atsuki's hunched over, alone at her desk, scribbling something on a piece of paper. As we approach, I'm surprised to see that rather than writing, she's drawing something. Hey Atsuki, what are you drawing? Startled, she looks up and quickly whips the paper off her desk.
Yuri? Flam? What are you guys doing here?
I'm just saying hi.
Okay, hi. What Flam means to say is that we wanted to invite you to eat lunch with us. Oh, sure thing. It's not like I'm doing anything anyway.
As she says this, she crumples up her drawing and tosses it into her desk. Whoa, what are you doing? I reach out for the balled up drawing, but find that my arm's held back by Yuri? Huh? Yuri?
Just leave her be, Flam.
But it doesn't seem right to me to just throw away hard work.
Personally, I think I can actually relate to that feeling. To toss aside your own work because you dislike its imperfections, or even simply because you're no longer in the mood. It's all just a part of the creative process. Yeah, that's spot on. Flam, you wouldn't understand true artists like Yuri and me.
I roll my eyes at that remark. Alright, whatever floats your boat. Still, wouldn't you want to be able to see your past work? Like, just to see how far you've come?
Well, yeah, but it's not like I trash every single thing I make that I don't like. Some things just don't work out. And to add on to that, it's better to let some of your work go rather than constantly dwell on all of its flaws.
I guess I can see that, but I must still suck to have your time wasted like that.
It's whatever. Why don't we just go eat now?
Sounds good to me. We step out and make our way to the roof.
It's nice to get some fresh air for once.
The cool breeze ruffles our hair a bit. It's not too cold though, as the sunshine provides a comforting warmth.
Don't you get fresh air during the physical education period? I mean, yeah, but who likes PE?
True. By the way, Natsuki, where were you drawing before?
Nothing.
Really? Looked like a bit of manga to me. Natsuki's eyes flick to Yuri for half a second.
Well, you're wrong.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it if you were. Loads of people aspire to become manga artists. Why do you think there's a manga club? Isn't that right, Yuri? I nudge Yuri with my elbow, prompting a response from her.
What? Oh, I suppose so.
Natsuki crosses her arms and looks away. Don't tell me she's gonna start pouting now. Desperately, I try to silently communicate with Yuri through my facial expressions. Yuri mouths a question at me that I try to answer by pointedly looking at Natsuki. A look of understanding slowly dawns on Yuri's face.
Flamrage, pursuing a career in the arts is nothing to be ashamed of. I may not particularly see the appeal in manga myself, but what I like and dislike isn't the end-all be-all of a subject. In fact, many people may find my desire for a degree in Japanese and literature to be largely pointless. So, what I mean to say is, take pride in your interests. Thanks for that.
A genuine smile spreads across Natsuki's face that Yuri returns gratefully.
But just so you know, it's not like I'm totally set on wanting to be a mangaka. It's just a hobby for now. Plus, I wasn't even drawing manga. It was just a character concept.
Better than anything I could do, that's for sure.
But that's hard to achieve.
Hey, it's not like I've ever taken art lessons before.
Neither have I.
Natsuki's smile is soon replaced by a haughty grin of triumph. Looks like the old Natsuki's back. Meanwhile, Yuri chuckles at our antics.
Anyway, shall we sit and eat before lunch is over?
You bet, I'm starving.
Okay, Sayori.
Brat.
Hey, I make other things besides cupcakes.
With a sigh, Yuri offers up her bento to Natsuki.
You can't just be eating that for lunch now, so have some of mine. Huh? Really? You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Yes, I'm perfectly fine with sharing my meal with you. It's a good thing that I always pack an extra pair of chopsticks. I'm fine. Flam already gave me some bread, so... Like I said, don't worry about it.
She would be a lot more convincing if she wasn't given the bento longing looks. Pretty good looking bento, don't you agree?
I mean, yeah, but that has nothing to do with me. Are you sure you don't want some? Yeah, I am.
With a sigh, I pick up Yuri's spare chopsticks and thrust them into Natsuki's hands.
Hey!
If Yuri says you can, alright? Yuri nods along with my words, affirming my statement. Seriously, you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't try some of her cooking. It's all homemade and tastes exactly like how a mother's cooking would taste.
My mom wasn't even that good at cooking. Well, I don't know how motherly my cooking is. But feel free to have some. That is, if you actually want to try it. I mean, it's not that I think it looks bad or anything. It's actually the opposite. Your bento looks really good.
It really does. There's a varied sampling of side dishes to choose from, ranging from watercress to grilled mackerel. And as usual, Yuri's rice is perfectly fluffy with a single umeboshi plum keeping it fresh.
Really, it's no bother. I understand your reservations, but in this case, they're unduly founded. Okay, if you insist.
By the way, do I get any too?
Oh, sorry. Jeez, Flam, you get to eat Yuri's cooking all the time, don't you? Stop pestering her about it.
Yuri, I'm not pestering you, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Wow, you and Yuri, you're answering to her name? Wow, are you Yuri? You're answering to her name?
I don't have to be Yuri to know that you are.
I'm not.
Are too.
At this point, you're probably the one bothering Yuri.
Yuri, what do you think? You're both acting like children. My apologies. That was incredibly rude of me to say.
No, you're right. We're totally being immature idiots. I don't know what it is about Natsuki that makes me act like a kid again. Probably her cutesy yet annoying attitude.
Maybe you are, but... Okay, I might have been a little bit, but I was just joking. Not my fault if you can't tell when I'm being sarcastic. Alright, I think that's enough.
Yuri suddenly picks up a piece of fish with her chopsticks and shoves it in. Nice. Yuri suddenly picks up a piece of fish with her chopsticks and shoves it in Natsuki's mouth. Natsuki's practically bowled over in surprise, dropping her chopsticks in her lap. She shoots Yuri an incredulous look, but dutifully chews on the food. Ha! See, Yuri? Oomph. Ha! See, Yuri? Oomph. My mouth is suddenly filled by the taste of greens cooked in a savory sauce.
That's enough out of you, too.
With a start, it appears that Yuri's finally realized what she's done.
Sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. No, that was really funny. Who knew that Yuri had this in her?
I mean, as her boyfriend, I kinda knew.
Oh, shut up.
She jazzed me in my side. Ow. Anyway, I can't believe you did that, Yuri. How could you be so cruel to your boyfriend of all people?
You deserved it.
Oh.
You deserved it. Oh man, that was so out of character for Yuri. But in a good way. Really? I wasn't exactly thinking when I did it. I just didn't know what to say, so I acted on impulse. That was so weird, wasn't it?
No, Natsuki's right. It's nice to see your fun side sometimes.
Yeah, that's how you act when you follow your impulses. I think you should do it more. Fun? It's not as easy as you'd think to get over my inhibitions.
Yuri mutters that last remark nearly inaudibly.
But I'm glad to see that I was able to make others laugh.
She says this with a gentle smile.
By the way, that bite was super good. Did you really make it yourself? Mm-hmm. If you like, I could show you my recipes sometime. Hey, definitely. I could show you. I could show you how to bake. I can show you how to bake stuff too.
If you two combine your cooking and baking skills, you might be able to call yourselves the ultimate chef.
I don't know about that.
Laughing, we all dig back into our lunches again, this time with Natsuki sneaking bites of Yuri's lunch. Soon enough, the food's all gone, save for a few crumbs. Right on time, too, as the bell rings just when I finish covertly licking my fingers. This was fun. We should have lunch together again sometime.
I'm inclined to agree. It's much more lively when more people are invited. Well, don't get too clingy now. We can still see each other at the club, you know. Yes, I'll be seeing you two there later.
You betcha. I just hope Yuri and I can talk things over soon. I wake up with a start. Strangely, I'm sitting on the couch with a blanket over me instead of lying in bed. As I pull the blanket off myself, fragments of memory suddenly flash through my mind. White day, cooking, yelling, blood, Yuri. Oh god, Yuri. Adrenaline starts pumping through me again as I weigh over all my choices. What could I have done differently? How did this all happen? Springing up from the couch, I rub my hands over my face and stumble into the kitchen. I hadn't even cleaned up our dinner yesterday. It's crazy how such a mundane chore can even seem urgent in the wake of what happened. But to my surprise, the dining table is cleared, the dishes all stacked neatly in the drying rack, and the blanket. Mom must have helped out. Mom? I feel like a child again as I walk through the house looking for my mom. At this point, I feel like Mom's the only one who will be able to comfort me. Jeez, I must really be a mama's boy. It's in my bedroom that I happen to find her. Mom's sitting at my desk flipping through an old photo album.
Lamb, you're up.
Yeah, I guess I am. I sit down on my bed next to her. For a few moments, there's only the sound of the album pages crinkling as they turn. Finally, Mom breaks the silence.
Remember when we went to the beach that time?
She points out a photo of the small, chubby child digging a hole in wet sand at the beach. That must have been taken when I was 5. Maybe. You have to be more specific, though.
Come on, it was that time you peed yourself because you were too busy playing to go to the bathroom? Ironic, because you also could have peed in the ocean right next to you, but instead, you wet your pants in front of everyone.
Hey, what's the point of bringing this up now? I can feel the heat rising in my face.
Just reminiscing.
There's another flip of the page, followed by a sigh.
You were so cute as a kid.
So I'm not much of a looker now then.
Oh, now you're putting words in my mouth.
Mom gazes fondly down on another photo now. It's one of her and Dad standing proudly in front of our house, my 7-year-old self striking a silly pose in between them.
Sometimes I wonder, would it have been better if I hadn't insisted on leaving your father? Should I have just put up with it for your sake?
I'm startled by the sudden change of topic. Mom never really talks about her feelings, much less the divorce. I mean, aren't you happier now?
There's no denying that. But still, there are plenty of people who stick it out for their kids' sake. I just couldn't do that, though. Sorry that your mom's so selfish.
But there wouldn't have been any use in staying together if all you would have done was keep on arguing. I could tell that you guys were both unhappy, you know? Plus, everything turned out alright in the end anyway. It's better to be single than in a toxic relationship.
A toxic relationship, huh? Weren't you super stressed out all the time?
I remember... Oh, yeah. Were you super stressed out all the time? I remember a lot of your arguments were about how much work you each did, and Dad would insist that you had it easier than him.
Yeah? Ugh, that man. Still, you know that I was the one who insisted on the divorce, right? I could have forgiven him. I think after I showed him the papers, he was actually shocked into realizing how serious I was. He apologized to me and told me that he was willing to change.
I didn't know that.
But my pride stood in the way. I didn't want to back down and look weak. I didn't want to have long conversations about it with him after already explaining myself so many times in our arguments. And I couldn't bear going through this all over again if it turned out that he really didn't change.
Knowing Dad, I think he would have gone back to his old ways after a while.
Yeah. Anyway, at least I'm happy that I got to focus on my career so much more after we separated. But it still came with the cost of not being able to watch over you as much as I wanted to.
Mom, seriously, it's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? All things considered, I'm happy with the way things turned out.
Thanks, Flam. You know how my temper can get when I'm practically irritated or tired, though. I can't imagine that it would have been much fun to argue with. Who knows? If I were more patient or communicative, things might have turned out differently. And speaking of arguments, you had one with Yuri yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Jeez, an earth-shattering argument on White Day.
Hey, that's an exaggeration. And how did you know we had an argument? Mom rolls her eyes.
Dinner was still on the table, barely eaten, and you were dozing off on the couch with the TV turned on and an infomercial channel.
Guess that makes sense. I did want to ask you for advice on it, though.
So what happened?
I ran my hands through my hair as I tried to recall everything that happened last night. Well, we started off by talking about Sayori while we were eating. Like, she asked me what we did together what we did together this other day, and started talking about how good of a friend Sayori is.
Whoa, you talked to Yuri about another girl on White Day?
That's a point that Yuri brought up too. Is there some kind of dating code that I'm missing?
Apparently. Flam, what gave you the bright idea to talk up another girl so much in front of your girlfriend?
Hey, she's the one who brought Sayori up first, you know. Anyway, and Yuri started hinting at how I shouldn't be talking about that, and I got kind of mad and told her she should work on communicating more clearly. And then she started talking about how she has trouble communicating and has to deal with a lot of problems. And I told her that I have my own problems to deal with too. Mom winces at that. I know, I said some wrong things during our argument. Anyway, Yuri started being really self-deprecating, and then she left too. Then a bunch of stuff happened where Yuri kept calling herself a freak. I told her that she should consider therapy, but she was really unreceptive to it. Mom's quiet for a few moments. I don't know if that's a good or bad sign. Sorry if some of my summary was vague, but I don't really want to reveal any secrets without Yuri's permission, you know?
It's quite alright, Flam. I get it.
Thanks, but honestly speaking, I think a good portion of my points were valid. I won't say I was in the right in our argument, but...
You know, someone once said that everything before the word but is BS. Flam, you shouldn't be looking at it that way in the first place. Both of you should be working to solve your problems together, not pitting yourselves against each other and trying to see who's right and who's wrong.
That's true. I still can't believe that this even happened. My brain keeps going over different things I said, different things I could have done. Everything that happened last night is just playing on repeat in my head.
Now you know how I'm feeling.
Huh? I mean, Mom actually opened up about the divorce for a reason.
Here's your chance to not turn into another version of me and your father, though. It's probably true that you have a point in that Yuri should probably learn to communicate her problems more effectively. But it also sounds like she may have some deep-rooted problems that she wouldn't be able to get over as easily as you'd like.
Thing is, it seemed like she had been getting better. Almost like she was cured or something. Mom shakes her head.
If these problems are anything similar to what I'm thinking now, it'll take a lot more work to cure them. And even though I'm used to the word cure, it may just be that the problems go more into remission than anything. Or they might never fully go away at all. Also, I hope you didn't use that exact phrasing with her.
No, I didn't.
Good. I'm guessing you haven't talked to her yet today.
I haven't even brushed my teeth yet.
Were you planning on talking to her then?
Well, I don't know. When does she want her space?
Flam, communication is key. Look, I know it's going to be awkward and weird after everything that was said and done yesterday, but it's better to clear things up sooner rather than later before misunderstandings crop up or negative thoughts become conflated with reality. If you don't talk, how are you going to be able to apologize and solve your issues together? I'm not saying that you should totally hound her on the topic, because she might very well want some time to think things through. But you still need to open up a dialogue about these things so that you can both know where you stand.
That makes sense. I'm really dreading talking to her, though. There were some harsh words thrown around last night. I don't really know how I'm going to face her.
You won't know until you try, right?
I mean, I know it's going to be awkward.
Just talk to her, Flam. In fact, why don't you call her right now?
Can I eat breakfast first?
First of all, it's nearly noon, and secondly, no.
But I don't even know if she's gonna pick up.
You
don't think I called her last night after she stormed off?
Tensions were high at that moment, Flam. If she doesn't pick up now, then at least text her.
I reluctantly pull out my phone. What a surprise, no calls or messages back.
Come on, Flam. I believe in you.
Okay, I get it. As I slowly look for Yuri's name in my contacts, Mom stands up, snapping the photo album shut.
Don't worry, I'm gonna give you your privacy while you call. Let me know how it goes.
Thanks.
Of course.
Before she steps to the door, I stop her one last time. Oh, and Mom? Thanks for everything. I mean, talking to me and helping me clean up and stuff already. And, for being a good mom. Man, that was too cheesy even for me. However, Mom's bright smile alleviates some of my embarrassment.
It's all part of the job, Flam.
With that, she shuts the door with a soft click. It's just me and my thoughts now. Plus, my phone. Gathering up a little courage I have remaining, I force myself to dial Yuri's number. The dial tone rings on faintly. It's the same as ever. Indifferent to the tumultuous feeling within me. I'm almost hoping that Yuri doesn't pick up. Huh? Did Yuri actually pick up?
Hello?
Now that she's actually on the line, I've suddenly forgotten everything I wanted to say. Hi. This is awkward. Come on, Flam. You called her for a reason. I'm glad you picked up.
To be honest, I was tempted to ignore your call again.
Oh. At least she picked up? Then why did you pick up?
I don't know. Actually, I suppose one reason was because I knew what you'd be thinking. You were worrying that I'd have killed myself, weren't you? It's alright. That's only to be expected.
Damn, she got me. It's not the only reason why I called, but it's a huge looming fear that's been back in my mind this whole time. I didn't want to admit it myself, but it's true. I was worried that Yuri would have committed suicide. I mentally berate myself. Come on, Yuri's not so fragile that she'd off herself after one argument, right? Stop thinking that she's made out of glass. Although, she might not have committed suicide, but would it have been so far-fetched to think she could have accidentally cut too deeply and bleed out? Too real. An image of her desperate scratching flashes through my mind. Yuri, I'm sorry. Sorry for everything that happened last night. There were a lot of things I shouldn't have said. As you can see, I'm not the most sensitive or tactful person sometimes.
I'm sorry too, for allowing myself to show you that part of me. I can't believe I actually scratched myself in front of you. It was such an overwhelming impulse. Obviously.
It's okay, Yuri. I was about to say I get it, but do I really get it? All these issues, they're really difficult for you to deal with, aren't they? We both acted on impulse yesterday.
I suppose so.
You know, you're right. I can't imagine how it must feel to be you and to have to deal with, there's a side from the other end. It's so quiet I can hardly make it out.
Thank you for acknowledging that. It's just so tiring not having anyone to be able to understand that side of me. Of course, I'm not blaming you for not being able to understand. It's simply that all these feelings are extremely isolating.
Well, I know that I must sound like a broken record at this point, but I'll always be here for you. I might not totally get what you tell me, but I'll try to help the best I can. And that includes helping you feel less isolated. Last night, I was really mad at the problems, not at you. I just didn't know how to voice my frustrations clearly enough. I wasn't self-aware enough to really pinpoint the source of my emotions until now. We're both in this together. Let's fight these problems alongside one another.
Thank you, Flam. Sorry for not being able to speak so openly about everything.
It's alright. It's a work in progress.
Yes, it is.
Actually,
can I come over to your place right now?
So we can talk about these things face to face? Plus, I know you have phone anxiety, so... Or we can talk somewhere else, if you're more comfortable with that.
Sorry, but I'd rather not.
Oh, okay.
It's not your fault. It's just that I believe I need some time to think about things.
You mean you need some space for now, right?
Mm-hmm. But I agree with you, in terms of working together to assuage these issues. Only, I need to put my thoughts in order first before I could try explaining things to anyone. Sorry, I'm not good at speaking about these things unless I've properly thought through my words.
No, that's perfectly understandable. Guess it was too much to hope that everything could be fixed in one phone call.
There's a lot to mull over.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Thank you for taking the effort to call and make things right, Flam. I don't know if I would have had the strength to do the same.
Of course. I really care about you, Yuri. Don't forget that.
I won't. Thank you for everything, though. Really. I'll see you at school on Monday, then.
I mentally sigh in relief. It's not like Yuri can bear to see my face then. Sounds like a plan.
If you'd like, we can continue this conversation during lunch. I believe I'll be ready to talk by then.
Are you sure? You really don't have to force yourself.
Yes. If I don't do it, then I'll never be able to do it.
Okay. I just want you to be uncomfortable talking about everything. My mind flashes back to Yuri talking about being the perfect girlfriend. Please trust me when I say that I'd rather you wait until you're good with talking than force yourself to do so. You can't rush progress when it comes to these things, right?
Yes. You definitely can't rush it. But I think I'll be able to talk about it. But in the case that I do start to have trouble speaking, I'll tell you.
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear.
Would you like to meet me at the roof during lunch then?
That'll do just fine. Plus, we won't have to worry about others eavesdropping on our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So... I guess that's it for now? Man, I'm always bad at ending conversations on the phone.
I suppose so. Again, thank you for calling, Flam.
Well, thank you for being receptive to me, even after our argument.
It's only fair. After all, I struck the flames just as much as you.
Either way. Are you doing anything right? Are you doing anything right now?
I had been cooking lunch when you called.
All right, it's around noon right now. I'll let you get back to it then.
Oh, okay. Then, thank you.
I'll see you on Monday.
Goodbye, Flam.
After a brief pause, a small click sounds and the line goes dead. I breathe a sigh of relief. That's over and done with, and it actually went pretty well. Lunch on Monday, huh? I better prepare myself for the emotional exhaustion I'll inevitably feel that day. But for now, lunch sounds really good. Oh god, it's finally lunch. Time to meet up with Yuri. It's strange seeing all the students mill around me without a care in the world. They're far removed from all the drama that Yuri and I had to deal with these past few days. I wonder how this situation would have played out between different players. Would it have turned out better? Worse? Somehow? I thought that anyone around me right now has had to deal with anything like what Yuri and I have gone through. Wait, scratch that. Hasn't hanging out with Yuri taught me anything about judging books by their covers? I mentally shake my head. Come on, Flam. You have no idea what anyone else is going through. Judging others? Yuri's spoken a lot about that topic before. Yuri. Am I even prepared for this conversation? As I make my way to the roof, each step seems to grow heavier and heavier. My uniform seems to be uncomfortably warm, while my palms have suddenly collected a layer of sweat. Yummy. Before I know it, I'm in front of the rooftop entrance. And here goes nothing. As always, it takes my eyes a little time to adjust to the brilliant sunlight outside. Soon enough, though, I'm able to make out a tall, long-haired girl standing by the edge of the roof. The contrast between her violet hair and pale blue sky makes her hair look all the more dark. Yuri? I step closer to her, prompting a slight peek over from her. She doesn't move, though, so I elect to stand beside her and look down at the school grounds below.
Hello, Flam.
Hey, Yuri. Normal enough of a start to the conversation. Yuri runs her fingers along the chain link fence blocking off the edge of the roof.
a nice day out, isn't it?
Guess so.
You haven't had lunch yet, right?
Well, lunch just started, so...
Oh, right.
Yuri's face turns slightly red, and when she quickly turns to rummage through her bag, I can't tell if it's to hide her face or not. However, she eventually pulls out a package tied together with a large handkerchief. A bento?
I made you a bento. You never bring very nutritious lunches, and since we planned on eating together...
Whoa. Are you sure? I did bring some bread, so...
I made my own bento too, so if you don't eat it, it's just going to be wasted. Plus, it was made specifically for you, so...
If this is a peace offering, it's the best peace offering I've ever received. Yeah, I never got any bento boxes. Holy crap. Thanks. Your cooking's always delicious. I feel bad that I don't have anything for you now.
It's fine. I made it for you because I wanted to, not because I expected anything in return.
Oh, Yuri. I take the boxes from her and peek inside. Rice, grilled beef, some kind of salad, and... dumplings. Of course. You even made my favorite dumplings for it.
Yes, I bought some before, so...
Yuri, you don't know how much I appreciate you.
I believe I have a good enough idea of that.
We chuckle lightly for a bit, but then Yuri's face suddenly falls.
Flam, I'm sorry for everything that happened on White Day. Now that I think over what I did and said that day, I feel so ashamed.
She bites her lip hard.
I can hardly believe that it actually happened.
Yuri, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have pressed you so hard on things you obviously can't change on a whim.
Thank you, but I know that I was really the instigator.
Well, if I hadn't cluelessly gone on and on about Sayori.
But I also could have outright told you why that was bothering me. Instead, I chose to internalize all my negative thoughts, and it manifested in, well, blatant self-hatred.
I mean, it's not like you explicitly chose to internalize it all, right? These deep-seated problems you have, I get that sometimes you can't help second-guessing yourself or thinking in a certain way.
But in order to improve my mental health, don't I have to change these thought processes?
Yeah. But doesn't it still take a huge amount of time and effort before you're able to fully change it? It's slow going in the beginning, right? And on that day, tensions had been running high anyway, so it would have been harder to be self-aware about it. Plus, I'm sure that some of my comments didn't help matters either.
That's true. But either way...
Yuri takes a deep breath.
You were right. The biggest problem in our relationship right now is most likely communication. And that's really on me.
Yuri.
It's fine, Flam. You don't have to try to make me feel better. I've accepted that it's genuinely a fault of mine that I'm too emotionally suppressive. After all these years, I've just gotten in the habit of hiding my true thoughts and feelings from everyone. It's actually a bit selfish of me. I don't tell anyone anything so that I can avoid being judged.
That's a perfectly valid reason to not talk about some things, right?
Maybe. But I doubt that it's a completely healthy mindset. It stops me from communicating effectively with others, too. So, I'm going to try to explain everything. All of it. To you. All the reasonings behind my thought processes, how I genuinely feel about certain things. I truly did some introspection over the weekend to figure things out.
Well, if you're up for it, I'm all ears. I don't know if I'll be able to understand everything, and I probably won't be able to relate to a lot of what you feel, but I'll try my best to be as empathetic as possible.
That's all I'd ask of you.
Once again, Yuri takes a breath to steady herself.
Where should we start?
We could start with the argument.
That's as good a place as any.
There's a strange, weary smile on Yuri's face. Now that I think about it, I was probably overreacting during our argument, wasn't I? It's okay if you get angry from time to time. I definitely said some things that were out of line.
But how would you have known what to say? You're not a licensed psychologist. And you don't self-harm, so it's not as though you know the exact things to say to me.
I mean, I could have not said some things, though, too. If I'd given it some thought before speaking, I could have realized that some of my words were hurtful to anyone, not just to a self-harmer. For instance, I shouldn't have said that other people have problems, too.
That's true. When you said that, it seemed to invalidate my own issues. It minimized my suffering.
Yeah, like, other people have problems, too, so you should just suck it up and deal with it. See, I definitely did not mean to invalidate you. What was something else I said?
How would you feel if I did this?
Oh yeah, I think I actually said that a couple of times. Actually, could you explain why it's so bad to say that?
Alright. It's likely not very obvious to someone who isn't too familiar with the thoughts behind self-harm. I believe the best way to put it would be that saying that guilt trips me. It makes me feel worse about myself because it makes me that much more aware of how self-harm affects others around me. And then it makes me feel like cutting even more. It's a bit of a cycle where it makes me feel terrible, which makes me cut, which then makes me feel even worse. Which leads to my cutting again, etc., etc.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
It's okay. Now you know.
Now that you say it, it seems so obvious, though.
Hindsight is 20/20, I suppose.
Yeah, guess so. Man, I wish I hadn't spoken without thinking so much. I'm especially sorry for the ugly mess comment. Yuri looks down at her arms. They're covered by her sleeves right now, of course, but I can imagine the scarring underneath the cloth.
Well, you're right.
Huh?
They are ugly. Well, to be honest, there was a time when I liked the way they looked. But that was at a time when I was in an even worse state of mind, if you can believe it.
I'm guessing it might have been around the time of her parents' deaths.
Quite simply, I disfigured myself. I'm disfiguring myself. And I feel like I deserve to be disfigured. It's like self-harm allows me to externally show how I feel on the inside.
I don't really know what to say to that.
I feel the need to punish myself for making mistakes and things like that. The first time I cut my arm, I was almost mesmerized by the blood flowing down my skin. It felt strange, seeing my arm marred like that. But in a way, it felt right.
Yuri.
You don't have to say anything. I know you probably don't know what to say.
She's got that right. Even so, I hope you know that when I said that, I was mad at the self-harming itself, not at you, if that makes sense.
I understand.
Sorry if this is too soon, but I don't know a good way to ask this. You didn't do anything too bad to yourself after our argument, did you? Sorry for asking so clumsily. I really don't know how I can breach the topic in a sensitive way.
It's alright. The scratching helped take the edge off a lot, so I didn't do anything worse than what I usually do. I still can't believe I did that in front of you. All my thoughts and emotions just suddenly overwhelmed me. It was almost as if a physical pressure was building up within me.
I see. Damn. Can't imagine.
Well, I'm glad that you can't imagine it. You know what you said about my not trying to change myself?
Sorry for that too.
No. It's fine. To be honest, I don't think I've actually been trying all that much. Sometimes a wave of motivation comes over me that makes me want to change, but it doesn't happen too often. I'm scared of how it will be when I don't have self-harm to help me feel in control again. That physical pain is something that I can understand and manipulate myself, something that has a definitive end. It's the way that I've always coped. It's not often that something makes me feel like discarding that.
You did talk a bit about this before, I think. It was probably the first time I came over to your house.
I suppose I did. In the end, I suppose I don't want to change.
Yuri, come on. You might say that, but you have to change already. She gives me a questioning look. You become more confident in yourself when you speak to others, for one thing. Remember when you never even felt like saying hi to Natsuki before? And look at you right now. You're opening up to me about this stuff. Sure, you may still have your flaws, but that alone shows that despite what you tell yourself, you're willing to change. So change isn't all that bad, right?
You're right as usual.
You don't deserve all this, Yuri. Please trust me when I say that. And I wouldn't lie to you about that either.
Okay. Thank you, Flam.
I slowly sink my hand over to Yuri to touch Yuri's. Surprisingly, she actually grabs my hand in response.
It feels freeing to talk about this with you. Is it really okay for me to burden you with this?
Of course. What kind of person would I be if I didn't support my loved ones?
Thank you.
Anyway, no one's perfect, as we both know by now. If you're willing to forgive me, then I definitely think you should be able to forgive yourself, if that makes sense. You don't have to be the perfect girlfriend, because there's no such thing. Oh god, I just remembered. Which reminds me. Please tell me whenever you're uncomfortable with anything, Yuri. It's kind of an awkward subject to broach, but I've got to address it. If you don't want to do something, like if you don't want to be intimate at the moment or anything, you can always just say no. No one has the right to demand anything of you in that way. There'll never be hard feelings about it if you say no, because you don't owe anyone sex or whatever.
Sorry, I just didn't know what to do at the moment. There were so many expectations and worries clouding my mind that I just forced myself. But don't worry, I don't blame you or anything.
Yuri, you don't have to apologize. Again, I never get mad at you if you turned intimacy down. In fact, isn't it better if we're both happy and willing to do something?
Yes, I know that now, but that wasn't the case at the time. Either way, thank you for bringing this up. To be quite honest, it was weighing me down a bit, but I wasn't sure of how to bring it up without turning it into an awkward mess. It's comforting to confirm that it's okay if I don't force myself.
Yeah, it's definitely a subject that had to be addressed. At any rate, whatever happens, I'll try to support you as my girlfriend. That is, if you still want to call yourself that.
Yes. I don't think I'm much inclined to breaking up with you. Especially not after you've been so kind and understanding towards me.
Well, I guess I meant to ask you if you needed to go on a break or not. I definitely get that you might want some space, so...
Well, it is nice being able to speak on my own terms and knowing that I can take my time about things to think by myself. But I also know that I still love you. So, would it be alright with you if we just took it slowly?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have expected everything to go back to normal just after one conversation anyway. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting her to want to stay with me. The bell suddenly rings, startling us out of our quiet discussion. Jeez, we really lost track of the time, eh?
We hardly even ate. We were so busy talking.
Well, I'm definitely glad we had this conversation. I think it helped me understand you a lot more.
And I'm glad I was able to work on my communication.
Man, I guess we'd better get to class for now. But I'll meet you at the usual place to walk to the club together, okay?
Okay, see you then, Flam. And once again, thank you.
Back at ya. My mood has seriously lifted from how I felt these past few days. Ironic, considering the dark subject matter that Yuri and I talked about during lunch. But it just feels nice, knowing that someone I love trusts me enough to talk about these things. And it's definitely gladdening to be able to resolve a conflict peacefully and come out of it a better person. I still worry about Yuri, of course, but now I feel more hopeful about our future together. Sinking a glance at Yuri, who's sitting beside me, I catch her eye and offer her a smile. She smiles softly back in return, and then turns her attention back to the book in front of her. I could definitely see her fighting through all the problems in her way. But for now, we're back in the companionable silence that so often settles between us. To me, it's an indication that things can get better again.
Okay, everyone.
Monika's announcement once again startles me out of my reverie.
We all know that school's ending this week, right? Woohoo! Summer vacation! Ugh, I can't wait to do nothing all day. Everyone here can probably relate to that. Anyway, I was thinking, how about we meet up outside of school during the summer to hang out? That sounds like a great idea, Monika. I probably would have wanted to keep seeing you guys throughout the summer anyway. After all, we're not just a club, we're all friends. Well, if y'all insist, I'd be open to hanging out.
Geez, Natsuki, you don't have to be so coy about it.
Hey, speak for yourself.
In my case, I'd definitely be down for a little club trip.
Me too. It helped keep me out of the house. And I want to keep talking to everyone here. That's decided then. Let's meet up the Saturday after school officially ends, if that's alright with you all.
We all unanimously agree. I catch Natsuki sinking a smile at Yuri, but Natsuki only sticks her tongue out at me when I make eye contact. Looks like everyone's as normal as it could get for now. Normalcy's underrated anyhow. Alright everyone. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, because we're getting back down the good path, guys. We're getting down the right path. I like it. Alright, so y'all subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.